It's that time of year again when the modhub team for Farming Simulator releases their holiday statement. This year's is aptly titled the Obligatory Holiday Service Announcement Message. Spot on, man. Pretty much everything in here is based around modders rather than just players, but I did think it was important to bring you guys some information. We also have some info on how things are going to work moving forward, but not a lot, and some information about PMR as well. So let's check out what they say in all of this. The first of three sections is got a little bit to do with players, just so you kind of know what's going on, but really it's for modders, so they kind of know what's up. They say all newly submitted mods up until this message will be checked at least once before the holidays start. Holidays start mid next week. Processing will be sparse while throughout the holidays, but not halted. Focus has been put on important updates and high impact releases. Do not open messenger tickets to ask about your mod status, and as some rumors have gone around, the FS25 and PMR mods are processed by separate teams, so neither is impacting the other. Some of this part of the statement is up for interpretation. A lot of the rest of it isn't, though. They do say all newly submitted mods up until the message will be checked at least once before the holidays start. Doesn't mean they'll come out, just means they'll go through the initial check. Again, this was released 6:14 a.m. Eastern time today, so anything before that will get tested at least once, but no guarantee of a release. They also say holidays starting mid next week. Processing will be sparse while throughout the holiday, but not halted. This was also interesting. I think a lot of people thought that they would be taking off maybe with this Friday being their last day and taking all of next week in the week after to celebrate Christmas and the New Year. Next Wednesday is Christmas Eve, with Christmas Day being on Thursday. Hopefully, these guys don't have to be working during that time. And then the last part of this I also found interesting. Focus has been put on important updates and high impact releases. So does this mean they're not going in order anymore? Is it not fair? They may say, well, we didn't say that, but you also did not say that either. So I'm not quite sure. Again, this one is well up to interpretation and could irritate some people. Of course, not opening messenger tickets asking about mod status. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. And as some rumors going around, the FS25 and PMR mods processed by separate teams. So neither is impacting the other. However, I have heard that the Giants QA has had to step in to help out some QA with PMR. However, yes, I can confirm PMR does have their own QA for doing stuff. The next bit is pretty much just straightforward information for modders. They say the much anticipated guideline rework will be split up into two separate experience classes, something similar to what most modders know already as a compact and numbered list of do's and don'ts, including more leniency for creative mods, which may have to bend the rules to qualify. Also, beginner-friendly walkthrough of the modhub site and the associated processes to get their mod qualified and released. They do say to expect the first part in January, while the walkthrough follows shortly after. We can also see that 4,200 mods, or more than 4,200 mods, have been released so far on the modhub. 87%-ish are already crossplay compatible, and they do say a huge thank you from them to the modders who keep the interest in releasing their mods on as many platforms as possible. Also, just in the first in-depth check, the function and compliance check on PC, they processed more than 12,000 submitted mod entries. However, the number is not necessarily a good indicator for success rates or throughput, and should therefore not be interpreted as such, as they've had a lot of mod updates which do count towards it, for example, but also console checks which are not counted. So the numbers they've said, but the numbers really don't mean anything. The next one may be interesting for those of you guys that are as irritated about PMR as I have been. They say that the modhub guidelines for PMR have been finalized and are shared as soon as possible, or will be shared as soon as possible. Incorrect grammar, but PMR irritates me, so it is what it is. Lots of liveries have also been already released. What they meant to say is released in the last 24 hours. And first, more in-depth mods are starting to pop up. Another thank you here to the modders who have sent in and are planning to send them other mod projects. I do know that there's a couple other mods that people have sent me in PMR that are actually kind of cool. It's pretty sweet. It's really neat to see some awesome car mods and script type mods in a racing game. It's pretty sweet. Now, if only the game was actually any good. Some of that is a statement of fact, some of that is opinion, and you can feel free to share your opinions down there as well. There's a reason my second channel has not had any PMR videos recently. They say that any messenger tickets open asking about testing times or status updates will be closed without a personal reply. This announcement will be used as a reference instead. They wish everyone a joyful Christmas with families and all the best for the new year. FS25 and PMR modhub team. It's not the only thing going on right now. There's also some other kind of sketchy stuff going on in the background. As last week, actually last Monday, this was posted, share news that they hope never to deliver after exploring every possible alternative last week. So now this was 2 weeks ago. They reached a heartbreaking conclusion to reduce the size of their team. The decision was not a reflection of the talent or dedication of the people affected. Every individual who worked on Project Motor Racing poured passion into it, and they're profoundly grateful for their contributions. They recognize the personal weight of this moment, and they're committed to supporting each department team member with care and respect. At the same time, they want to be transparent about the path ahead. STRAIGHT4 remains fully committed to improving and supporting Project Motor Racing. When it launched, didn't meet the expectations of the community or the standards that they set for it themselves, and their focus is now rebuilding trust by strengthening the game update by update. The team remains determined to refine the physics, enhance systems, and bring the experience closer to what the community has already believed it could be. To the players and partners, thank you for the patience, honestly, unwavering passion. Your feedback is guiding the work already underway. Oh, I'm having a hard time not giggling while reading this. So what they're not saying is, I'll go ahead and say the quiet part out loud. The release was terrible and they couldn't afford to keep it going. So they fired people. That is exactly what happened. Also, if you don't know, they're owners of Giant Software, also own Project Motor Racing. So does this affect Farming Simulator? Actually, yes, quite a bit. What they're not telling you in here is that it wasn't just STRAIGHT4. They also fired Kermit here in the United States. He is now gone from Giant Software, and they closed the U.S. office. And they've also fired people from the European offices as well. This was not just STRAIGHT4 Studio. This was everything that Giant Software controls. They fired quite a few people with this. And I don't know how to take that. But I think it's a very, very good representation of how the world of Farming Simulator has been over the past 12 to 18 months. So hopefully all of this wasn't too spicy for you guys. I do want to keep you guys updated on what is going on. I've refrained from saying anything about the firings and Giant Software letting people go. I've never seen them do it at this scale. Obviously, people get fired all the time. It's just kind of part of running a business. Sometimes people just don't fit in, and it is what it is. Hey, I got fired from McDonald's when I was 16, so I can't really say anything. But what is interesting is firing people with combined decades of experience with Giant Software. So just raises some eyebrows, and I will have questions. So with that being said, tell me all the things that you think. What do you think's going on? Obviously, the statement here from QA and modhub team, this is pretty straightforward, at least some of it. Some of it leaves room for interpretation. Would be nice if there was zero room for interpretation, but it will never be like that. Just kind of is what it is. Hope you really enjoyed. Drop a like and subscribe to the DjGoHam fam. Hopefully this helped keep you informed and up to date on all of the stuff going on the surface, and some of the stuff going on in the background that nobody wants to talk about for some reason. I wonder why. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.